Welcome back to my channel. I have done quite a few videos about Wang Wei and his friends' poems recently. I love Wang Wei and his poems more than any other poets. However, I should not let my bias or preference to cloud my judgment so much that I would ignore other great poets. So, I'm going to give him a rest. But I would certainly come back to Wang Wei in the future because I still have a lot to share with you about Wang Wei and his poetry. The poet I'm going to talk about today is Du Fu. Du Fu is one of the most influential poets in Chinese poetic tradition. Many of the sayings in modern Chinese can be traced back to his poems. His poems are included in school textbooks and children are expected to memorize them. He was also the first poet introduced to me when I was very young. I started to memorize his poems as soon as I started talking because he is my father's favorite poet. I have made 2 videos about his life, so I'm not going to repeat his life story today. If you haven't watched those videos, here's the link to the first one. Today, I'm going to focus on a poem in the title of Shu Xiang, or the premiere of Shu Kingdom. I'm Dr. Gao, a philosopher obsessed with poetry. I make videos about classical Chinese poetry, philosophies, and traditional Chinese medicine. Please click the like button and subscribe my channel. Your support is very important to me. If you would like to donate to my channel, you can find the Patreon link in the homepage of my channel or in the description section down below. I also offer one-to-one online lessons on these subjects. So if you would like to read the original Chinese text with me, please contact me. Here's my email address. Now, back to this video. David and I would like to dedicate this video to the memory of his dear friend, Jordie Albiston, an accomplished Australian poet. Jordie Albiston published many poetry books about love, sorrow, and many other human emotions. I have been reading Jordie's poems during the last few weeks, and I think what she shared with this ancient Chinese poet Du Fu are their compassions for the suffering of humanity and the love they have for people. Now, let me read a poem by Jordie in the title of Revelation. This is the poem I'm deeply touched. A time of great ugliness fell on flakes, malformed and nothing like snow. We were the great unblessed. There was nothing anywhere, any more we did not own or know. How doomful the day when misery stops and the dream is all dreamed, and the lock are all locked, and the 10,000 times 10,000s of angels with singing and harps, and their song has just stopped. Oh, where the 4 horsemen, the trumpet, and the thunder? Oh, where the key to the bottomless pit? And why these 4 winds, all blowing the earth and blowing the earth all to bits? Yeah, it costs too much. This carefully, how I yearn for the time when the day opened wide and fall free. It is quite surprising that separated by over 1,000 years, Jordie Albiston and Du Fu both expressed deep mourning for the deterioration of the world we know, yet still held a hope that one day things will get better. Du Fu actually composed a similar poem in the title of 茅屋为秋风所破歌, or the song for my cottage blown away by autumn wind. I might translate that poem later and make a comparative analysis with Jordie's poem. But the poem I'm presenting today is an eulogy that Du Fu composed for a Chinese culture hero, Zhuge Liang. I think this poem is more fitting to commemorate Jordie's memory than the one I mentioned earlier. A few months ago, David and I were reading a poem by Wang Wei, and we happened to talk about how regrettable people's life can be cut short, especially those who had unfinished life goals. David told me about Jordie and her poetry, and her story reminded me a couplet from one of Du Fu's poems. So I shared with David. Here is the couplet. 出世未捷身先死，常使英雄泪满襟。He or she died before their expeditions were victorious, causing the heroes ever afterwards to shed tears on their chest. David was surprised how a poem from over 1,000 years ago could speak exactly how he felt. So we recently completed our translation of the poem, and I suggested to David that we dedicate a video to Jordie translating this poem. As I mentioned earlier, the title of this poem is Shu Xiang, or the Premier of Shu Kingdom. Shu was one of the three kingdoms established after the Han Dynasty Empire fell apart in 220 BCE. It was located in today's Sichuan province. Xiang here is used as an abbreviation of Chengxiang, or the premier. From the poem, it is quite clear that Shu Xiang refers to Zhuge Liang. He was regarded as the most capable and loyal officials of the same status as the Confucian hero Zhou Gong, or the Duke of Zhou. There are many such cultural heroes in the Confucian tradition who were promoted for their talents and virtues during the long history of Imperial China. The Duke of Zhou and Zhuge Liang were particularly important as the cultural icon for Confucian values, such as to provide the Caesarly councils for their kings or emperors with the ultimate loyalty. They are the role models for the scholar officials of later dynasties. This is rather important, as I shall explain later. In addition to translate the poem, I would also like to compare our translation with that of Stephen Owen. Stephen Owen is the authority on Du Fu's poetry. He published the poetry of Du Fu in 2016, which translates all the existing poems by Du Fu. 6 volumes in total. Now I'm feeling a little intimidated to compare our translation to his. Anyway, in my video about Wang Wei's poem 终南别业, or the Zhongnan Villa, I compared our translation with David Young's translation and highlighted the difficulties of translating poetry. The culture and historical significance built into the poetic language sometimes are impossible to translate from one language to another. However, such difficulties can be overcome to a certain degree depending on the original poem. The more specific the poem is, the easier the translation becomes. I would say the poem I'm presenting today poses much less difficulty to translators because of its specific topic. Now, let me read the poem in Chinese first. 丞相池塘何处寻？锦官城外柏森森。 应借碧草至春社，隔叶黄鹂空好音。三顾频繁天下计，两朝开济老臣心。出师未捷身先死，长使英雄泪满襟。Now, let's look at the first couplet. 丞相池塘何处寻？锦官城外柏森森。丞相 here refers to Zhuge Liang. David and I think it is appropriate to simply translate 丞相 as Zhuge Liang to comply with contemporary Western political convention to address politicians by their names. This might be a bit controversial because it is rather rude to address a political leader by their names in Chinese culture, especially when it comes to a culture hero such as Zhuge Liang. We would love to hear your opinions. Do you think it is appropriate to address a political leader or a culture hero by their names when translating Asian texts? Please post your views in the comment section down below. 池 means shrine. Tang means how. 何处 means where. 寻 means to seek. 锦 is a particular type of silk. Here is a video clip about the different kinds of silk from Imperial China I posted earlier. You can check it out for more detailed explanation for this kind of silk. 官 means official. 城 means city. Chengdu was known as 锦官城, or the city of the brocade official. This is because an office specifically for the purposes of producing, distributing, and transporting this type of brocade was set up in 316 BCE by the Qin Kingdom during the Warring State period after the Qin take over the Kingdom of Shu. The later dynasties continued this practice. The office was set up at Chengdu, so Chengdu is known as 锦官城. Y means outside. Bai means cypress. Shen is used as an adjective to describe the lustrous cypress forest. So the couplets can be translated as, where shall we seek Zhuge Liang's shrine? Outside the brocade city where the cypresses grow thick. 应借碧草至春社，隔叶黄鹂空好音。应 means reflect. 接 means step. 碧 refers to the jet green color. 草 means grass. 至 means at. 春 means spring. 色 means color. 隔 literally means separated, but here it means to be hidden. 叶 means leaf. 黄 means yellow. 鹂 refers to oriole. 空 means in vain. The character 好 is made up by the characters of 女 meaning girl and 子 meaning boy. It is originally used as an adjective to describe the beauty of a young girl or a boy, as indicated by the characters. Later on, the character is extended to mean anything that is beautiful and lovely. Here it is used to describe the bird song. Yin normally refers to tongue, as in the phrase of 音准 or tongue. I have posted a video clip about this character. Here's the link. In this poem, yin refers to the bird song. So the two lines can be translated as, steps are covered by jet green grass at spring. Hidden among leaves, a yellow oriole sings its lovely song in vain. 三顾频繁天下计，两朝开济老臣心。三 means three. 顾 normally means to look back. It also means to visit a place. Sangu here is an abbreviation of the fixed phrase 三顾茅庐, or pay 3 visits to Zhuge Liang's thatched cottage. This is a story every Chinese knows about, due to the popularity of a Ming Dynasty novel 三国演义, or the Romance of the Three Kingdoms. Here is a painting from the Ming Dynasty by an artist named Dai Jin, depicting the story. The novel The Romance of the Three Kingdoms told an elaborate story of the 3 visits. However, there is only one line from the historical record 三国志, or the history of the 3 kingdoms, by the historian named Chen Shou, who lived through the period. So I think 三国志 presented a more accurate account of the visit. According to 三国志, a famous scholar of the time named Xu Shu recommended Zhuge Liang to a general named Liu Bei, who later founded the Kingdom of Shu. Liu Bei asked Xu Shu to bring Zhuge Liang to him, but Xu Shu said Liu Bei needed to invite Zhuge Liang personally to show his respect and sincerity. So Liu Bei visited Zhuge Liang 3 times, and Zhuge Liang met him on the 3rd visit. I would like to talk a bit about the number 3 here. So 3 is a rather interesting number in Chinese culture. It is often used to simply mean many. For instance, there are many fixed phrases with the number 3 in it meaning many. For example, the phrase 狡兔三窟, or a cunning rabbit has many caves, which means that a clever person should keep as many options as possible. But 3 is also the number of times that one is expected to offer someone something to show his or her sincerity, and the person receiving the offer is expected to make a decision on the 3rd time, either to accept or reject the offer. So I'm not sure which meaning is implied here. Do you think the General Liu Bei visited Zhuge Liang many times, or he visited him 3 times and get to see Zhuge Liang on the 3rd visit? Let me know in the comment section. 频 means frequently. 烦 means to bother someone, but here it means to plead for something. 天 means heaven. 下 means under. 天下 means all under the heaven. This is a very common term referring to the world in a political sense. For instance, the Confucian ethos for a gentleman is 修身齐家治国平天下, or cultivate a moral self, bring order to one's family, govern one's state, and bring peace to the world. So 天下 here refers to the Chinese world. 计 means strategy. So 天下计 means the strategies that can bring peace to the Chinese world. 两 means 2. 朝 means reign. 两朝 refers to the 2 reigns of Liu Bei and his son Liu San. 开 literally means to open, but here it is an abbreviation of 开国, or establishing a kingdom. 计 literally means to cross a river, but here it refers to maintain the kingdom. 老 means old. 臣 means courtier. 老臣 here refers to Zhuge Liang. 心 means heart. So this line means Zhuge Liang assisted both kings to found and maintain the Shu kingdom. So the 2 lines can be translated as General Liu Bei visited him 3 times, pleading for the strategies to bring peace to the world. For 2 reigns, the old courtier founded and maintained the kingdom. 出师未捷身先死，常使英雄泪满襟。出师 literally means to set off the military force. However, it can also be used as a generic term for military expedition. 未 means not yet. 捷 means victorious. Sent here refers to Zhuge Liang himself. 先 means in advance, so we just translate it as before. 死 means die. Here I would like to point out that Zhuge Liang and Liu Bei's ambition was not just to set up their own little kingdom, but to restore the previous glory of the Han Empire. Liu Bei claimed that he was of the Han royal blood, which of course was a preposterous claim. However, at the time, this claim gave him the legitimacy to raise an army and fight against the other two kingdoms. This is also the reason that in both history and literature, Liu Bei and Zhuge Liang were hailed as culture heroes. During Liu Bei and his son Liu San's reigns, Zhuge Liang organized 5 expeditions to fight Cao Cao, the warlord, who usurped the throne from the last Han emperor. Unfortunately, Liu Bei and Zhuge Liang were not able to unify the Chinese world. Zhuge Liang died during his last expedition to fight Cao Cao in 234 CE. It was not until more than 30 years later, another military family, the Sima clan, eventually unified the Chinese world and founded the Tang Dynasty in 266 CE. Chang means for a long time. Shi means cause. 英雄 means hero. 泪 means tear. 满 means fill up. 襟 is the part of clothes covers the chest. So David and I just translate it as chest. So the 2 lines can be translated as, he died before his expeditions were victorious, causing heroes ever afterwards to shed tears on their chest. The poem starts quite calmly by stating the fact that the poet Du Fu was looking for the shrine of Zhuge Liang, and he found it among the cypress forest outside the city, which was the capital of the Shu kingdom. It was apparently neglected because it was covered by overgrown grass and overtaken by birds. For the shrine of such a culture hero like Zhuge Liang to be neglected like this, it was certainly unacceptable to Du Fu. He ruminated the extraordinary achievements of this great statesman and felt sorry for not just Zhuge Liang, but also for himself and all the ambitious young scholars who were inspired by Zhuge Liang, that they might never have a chance to achieve great things, such as bringing peace to the Chinese world. This last couplet was such a powerful expression of this sentiment. It is one of the most cited lines from Du Fu's poems. A lot of Chinese people know about these 2 lines, even though they might not even know who composed these lines. That is why when David told me the story of Jordie and her untimely passing, this couplet just jumped into my mind. And I also think this couplet is such a fitting description of the feelings we felt about Jordie and her untimely passing. Now, let me show you ours and Stephen Owen's translation side by side. The shrine hall to the minister, where can it be found? Outside the walls of the brocade city, where the cypress trees stand dense. Half hiding the stairs, Safari grasses take on the color of spring. Yellow orioles beyond the leaves gave the fine notes for note. Thrice called on, urged repeatedly his plans for all the world. For 2 reigns, founding and sustaining the old officer's heart. Ere the army set forth, was victorious, the man himself died. It always makes bold-spirited men feel their closest with tears. As you can see, the 2 translations read quite similar, only slight difference in wording, except the lines I highlighted. The considerations of the different wording we adopted are to use familiar words rather than exotic ones. But we also use the real names for the heroes mentioned in the poem. I suggested that because I think there are enough people who might know about the romance of the Three Kingdoms story, especially young people who might play any of the video games based on the romance of the Three Kingdoms. So this poem is quite easy to translate. However, this does not mean that this poem is any less culturally significant than Wang Wei's poem I presented earlier. On the contrary, this one is perhaps more influential because of the well-known historical events and the cultural heroes mentioned in this poem, and of course, the powerful imageries used in the poem. I also hope this video expresses our deepest sorrow for the loss of a great Australian poet, Jordie Albiston, and our admiration of her wonderful poetry. I'm Dr. Gao, a philosopher obsessed with poetry. I make videos about the classical Chinese poetry, philosophies, and traditional Chinese medicine. Please click the like button and subscribe my channel. Your support is very important to me. If you would like to donate to my channel, you can find the Patreon link in the homepage of my channel or the description section down below. I also offer one-to-one online lessons on these subjects. So if you would like to read original Chinese text with me, please contact me. Here's my email address. Thanks for watching my video. I'll see you next time.